Good morning. I think fall has officially arrived in Illinois, and I'm pleased to be joined this morning by Chief Judge Mike Chmiel from the 22nd Circuit. And among many other hats he wears, he is the co-chair of the IJA Travel Committee. Mike, you and the committee have planned an exciting trip to Poland for next spring. And can you please tell us a little bit about it?
Well, first, thanks, Justice. Thanks for the opportunity to fulfill a passion of mine, and that's telling people and sharing my heritage, my Polish heritage. I was told recently that I'm considered Polish because all four of my grandparents were born in Poland. But yes, at your sound helmet, hand at the helm. We've been meeting for a while now, sometimes every other day or so, but we have a really nice trip planned, as I like to say, to explore a great country in Europe. Of course, I have a bias, I have to disclose that, that has suffered and has helped, as with the war in Ukraine, and that has a lot to offer. So we're calling it Poland 2024. And it's located at a great time in a calendar on the heels of EdCon 2024. In fact, as we talked when you gave us our initial marching orders, EdCon ends roughly about noon on Friday, April 12th. And that night, about 9:45 from O'Hare, there's a flight that will take people directly to Warsaw. And in the long story short, and we'll have information that we'll provide on this. We're looking to do have an arrival on Saturday, April 13 in Warsaw. You fly overnight is customarily what happens. We'd have an opening dinner that evening. And then from there, we've done a few things. One, we learned from the past trips. Some people said, don't jam in too much. But yet we've also kept the key of learning something about not only the culture but the justice system and what people do in Poland. The first full day of the trip, we actually will start with a tour of Warsaw. It's a very modern city that was rebuilt, unfortunately, after World War II. We'll be at the U.S. Embassy. We'll be hosted there, our own embassy. How cool is that? Then the next day, while we're in Warsaw, Monday, the 15th, excuse me, we'll visit with the Polish Supreme Court. We have a friend, Mario Soluski, who visited us last year. He invited us, and you took him up on his invitation. So we'll meet with the Polish Supreme Court. We'll be hosted by them with a luncheon. They also have a constitutional court. So after about 3 days in Warsaw, we'll travel by motor coach to Rzeszów. That'll be the second stop on the tour, if you will. Rzeszów is about 10 miles away from Ukraine. It's where the U.S. Is basing its operations to help Ukraine, and I believe other countries as well. So especially with Ron Spears, my co-chair, he's very involved in the National Guard, and there's a great relationship with Poland, which factors into all this. We're going to see if we can have a little interaction with our folks over there. But there's a place called Rzeszów University, and the rector is anxious to host us for a conference on refugees. And that evening, he's also going to host us for a gala. And then the next day, for the last 3 days roughly of the trip, we'll travel over to Krakow, which is roughly where my family comes from in southern Poland. The cool thing about Krakow is it was spared from the problems or the challenges or the assault of World War II. It's a beautiful European city. In fact, behind me is a picture I took in March on the main square in Krakow. And we'll tour the city. There's the Wawel, which is a castle, which has a church that somebody called John Paul II was a cardinal at. And then the next day before we leave, we're going to tour Auschwitz. For those who have been there before, like myself, We're going to offer an alternative trip to Wadowice, which is where Pope John Paul II came from. Because Auschwitz, it's something everybody needs to see, and it's a lot. I'll just put it there. And then the following Sunday, April 21, we'll travel back with the possibility of an extension that we're working on. So in a nutshell, that's a quick summary of the week of roughly April 13th to the 21st. And one little quick add-on, 4- and 5-star hotels, great dining experiences, and nice travel, well, to and from Poland. We're going to organize flights, although that will be on your own. And then once we're there, we're going to have a nice motor coach to show us the countryside.
Well, it sounds like a great trip. How do our members sign up for it?
What we're going to do is roughly contemporaneous with your president's message here when it gets delivered. Kathy Hosty and the IJA crew, well, it's Kathy, right? She's going to forward an email which includes the itinerary that was developed with our travel committee. And in it, it'll have all the detail, more detail on the different days and the pricing. What I will say is a couple of tricks to this process. We fully anticipate the trips selling out. We're going to try to limit it at about 40 to give us plenty of room on the motor coach. It'll be a nice motor coach. But there will be a need to make a deposit based upon the lower end, which would be 30. And that, I believe, is $1,239. And right now, the deadline will be October 20, but we've been negotiating with the travel agents here and abroad to extend that through roughly Halloween. So right now it's October 20, but the information will be in this email with a hot link for the registration. And then we'll provide updates as we go. So that's how people will be able to RSVP and register.
Well, wonderful. I know that several people have been talking about the trip already, and we've got some interest, and we hope to have even more interest, and certainly hope to have the 40 people or so to join us on the trip.
I'm looking forward, and if you don't mind, let me just call out the judges you've asked to help us. Well, the first Vice President, Mary Colleen Roberts, has been Zooming in with us, and Patricia Sheen of Cook, Jody Gleason of Kendall. Kathy has always been there, of course. Then Martel Motivar, who works with Tim Evans and Cook, and Justina Regan, who just joined the Hinshaw and Culbertson firm. Marta and Justina are both Polish nationals, and they're really into this. But really, it's been a team effort. And Justice, we appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thank you. And I want to wish you and everyone else a happy Polish Heritage Month. And thank you, Mike, and the committee for your hard work on the trip. I'm looking forward to it. And again, I hope please, about the same time this president's message goes out, there should be an email follows up with details on the trip. Please take a look at it. And I wish everyone a great October. Thank you.